Media influence refers to the impact that various forms of mass communication have on the thoughts, behaviors, and perceptions of audiences. This field of study encompasses disciplines such as sociology, communication, psychology, and media studies, highlighting the interplay between media content and public opinion. Historically, media has evolved from traditional formats like print, radio, and television to include digital platforms like social media and blogs, significantly expanding its reach and accessibility. As media consumption has become pervasive, particularly since the mid-20th century, scholars have examined its effects on issues ranging from violence in entertainment to health-related behaviors. The effect of media on the public, especially on youth, has been an ongoing issue since the onset of mass communication, from early print media to music recordings to the growth of film, radio, and the Internet. The term media itself came into use in the 1920s. Its study became more common in the mid-20th century, coinciding with an increase in media saturation during the 1960s and 1970s as television programming spread and communication studies grew as a field. Television engaged audiences in a way that previous forms of media had not, and its influence on viewers sparked debates about rhetoric and its effect on public opinion. Beginning in the late 20th century, the rapid proliferation of digital technology vastly increased the scope of mass media and the ability of the public to access it. Studies of mass media relate to theories such as the limited effects theory, the class-dominant theory, and the culturalist theory, all of which look at how people interact with media. To understand media influence, one must also take into account audience preconceptions and factors such as their knowledge bases, stereotypes, and ethics. Additionally, audiences are affected by the mode of delivery and the context in which messages are received. While discussions of media influence can be undertaken in broader terms, it is most often discussed in terms of specific issues and audiences. One long-standing and high-profile topic has been that of media influence on violence. Violent films, television programs, and video games have given rise to discussions about what causes aggression and crimes among different audiences of various ages. The nature and extent of media consumption must also be taken into account when studying this type of influence. Another issue related to the effect of media on audiences is health. Advertising, public service announcements, wellness education, and other campaigns can all affect health behavior. Public service campaigns may work to promote healthy eating habits, spread information about the dangers of smoking, or address attitudes about obesity, while advertisements for unhealthy products may work toward the opposite goal. Media can also influence body image, an issue that especially affects young people. Mass media is used strategically for advertising and marketing of consumer products and services. It can sway public opinion, target specific audiences, and drive social change by promoting new social norms and mores. Because of its widespread effect on audiences, the media comes under scrutiny in relation to broader issues such as censorship, corporate influence, sponsorships, and political campaigning, among many other subjects. In media studies, mass communication, media psychology, communication theory, political communication, and sociology, media influence and the media effect are topics relating to mass media and media culture's effects on individuals' or audiences' thoughts, attitudes, and behaviors. Through written, televised, or spoken channels, mass media reach large audiences. Mass media's role in shaping modern culture is a central issue for the study of culture. Media influence is the actual force exerted by a media message, resulting in either a change or reinforcement in audience or individual beliefs. Whether a media message has an effect on any of its audience members is contingent on many factors, including audience demographics and psychological characteristics. These effects can be positive or negative, abrupt or gradual, short-term or long-lasting. Not all effects result in change. Some media messages reinforce an existing belief. Researchers examine an audience after media exposure for changes in cognition, belief systems, and attitudes, as well as emotional, physiological, and behavioral effects. The influences of mass media, or media effects, are observed in various aspects of human life, from voting behaviors to perceptions of violence, from evaluations of scientists to our understanding of others' opinions. The overall influence of mass media has changed drastically over the years, and will continue to do so as the media itself develops. In the new media environment, we have dual identities, consumers and creators. We not only obtain information through new media, but also disseminate information to wide audiences. Further, the influence of the media on the psychosocial development of children is profound. Thus, it is important for physicians to discuss with parents their child's exposure to media and to provide guidance on age-appropriate use of any media, including television, radio, music, video games, and the Internet. There are several scholarly studies which addresses media and its effects. Bryant and Zillman defined media effects as the social, cultural, and psychological impact of communicating via the mass media. Peirce stated that media effects researchers study how to control, enhance, or mitigate the impact of the mass media on individuals and society. Lang stated media effects researchers study what types of content, in what type of medium, affect which people, in what situations. McLuhan points out in his media ecology theory that the medium is the message. Media effects studies have undergone several phases, called media effects paradigms, often corresponding to the development of mass media technologies. Media effects are indirect. After the all-powerful assumption of mass media was disproved by empirical evidence, the indirect path of the media's effect on audiences has been widely accepted. An indirect effect indicates that an independent variable, example media use, affecting the dependent variables, example outcomes of media use, via one or more intervening, mediating, variables. The conceptualization of indirect media effects urges attention to be paid to those intervening variables to better explain how and why media effects occur. Additionally, examining indirect effects can lead to a less biased estimation of effect sizes in empirical research, Holbert and Stevenson 2003. In a model including mediating and moderating variables, it is the combination of direct and indirect effects that makes up the total effect of an independent variable on a dependent variable. Thus, if an indirect effect does not receive proper attention, the relationship between two variables of concern may not be fully considered. Rakoff and Markulides 2012. Media effects are conditional. In correspondence with the statement that media effect is the result of a combination of variables, media effects can also be enhanced or reduced by individual differences and social context diversity. Many media effects theories hypothesize conditional media effects, including uses and gratifications theory, Rubin 2009, reinforcing spiral model, Slater 2007, the conditional model of political communication effects, MacLeod et al. 2009, the elaboration likelihood model, Petty and Cacioppo 1986. Media effects are transactional. Many theories assume reciprocal causal relationships between different variables, including characteristics of media users, factors in the environment, and outcomes of media, Bandura 2009. Transactional theories further support the selectivity paradigm, Feature 1, which assumes that the audience shapes their own media effects by selectively engaging in media use. Transactional theories make an effort to explain how and why this occurs. Transactional media effects theories are the most complex among the 5 features. There are 3 basic assumptions. First, communication technologies, example radio, television, Internet, function as reciprocal mediators between information producers and receivers, who engage in transactions through these technologies, Bauer 1964. Second, the effect of media content is reciprocal between producers and receivers of media content, meaning they influence each other. Producers can be influenced by receivers because they learn from what the audience needs and prefers, Webster 2009. Third, transactions can be distinguished as interpersonal. However, these features are only limited within micro-level media effects studies, which are mostly focused on short-term, immediate, individual effects. Political importance of mass media. Politics and the mass media are closely intertwined, as the mass media play a role in shaping public opinion around political topics and figures. Media is at times referred to as the fourth branch of government in democratic countries, or the fourth estate for its role as a watchdog for political affairs for the public. Mass media also established its influence among powerful institutions such as legislation. Through the proper consent in mediums to advocate, different social groups are able to influence the decision-making that involves child safety, gun control, etc. One study concluded that social media is allowing politicians to be perceived as more authentic, with the key findings showing voters feel politicians are more honest on social media compared to in interviews or on TV shows. This opens up a new voter base for politicians to appeal to directly. Though new media allows for direct voter-politician interaction and transparency in politics, this potential to subvert information on a wide scale is particularly harmful to the political landscape. According to a 2018 report from Ofcom, 64% of adults got their news from the internet and 44% from social media. Features distinct to social media, such as likes, retweets, and shares, can also build an ideological echo chamber with the same piece of real or fake news recirculating. There are three major societal functions that mass media perform to political decisions raised by the political scientist Harold Lasswell: surveillance of the world to report ongoing events, interpretation of the meaning of events, and socialization of individuals into their cultural settings. The mass media regularly present politically crucial information on huge audiences and also represent the reaction of the audience rapidly through the mass media. The government or the political decision makers have the chance to have a better understanding of the real reaction from the public to those decisions they have made. Thank you for watching this video.